Hi there, Professor Chris here. Thank you for joining us for another video brought to you by TARMA, that's Threat Assessment Risk Mitigation Advisors. Today we're going to look at a special holiday edition of ride sharing. So we're going to take a look at the passenger side of things real quick, the do's and don'ts, and then we're going to look at the driver side of things. So jumping right in, because obviously, you know, this time of year people are going to be out partying, doing whatnot, more, and it's the hopes of all of us that people will behave responsibly and get, appropriate transportation when the time comes to go back home or wherever you're staying. And we want people to do so in a safe manner. So, just some things to check off the list. Starting with ask the driver who they're there for, right? You don't want to give the driver the name. Are you here for Christina? You want to say, hi, who are you here for? And make them tell you. Any driver thinking that they're going to do something that they shouldn't be doing would just say, yep, I'm here for Ashley, and then Ashley disappears and nobody will see or heard from again. So, also you want to ask the driver their name, just to verify. Christina's a pretty popular name, but if some dude rolls up, with a pretty heavy accent, not looking like anyone called Christina, it's a pretty good indication that they're not who you want. You also want to verify the license plates, the make and model of the vehicle, and in North Carolina, the license plate that you want is in the back. One of the options available, I don't know how many of the rideshare apps it's available on, but one of the options is to share your ride, which I recommend, especially for those who are younger, older, maybe a little inebriated, or don't use the app often, or don't get out often. There is also an option on some of the ride-sharing apps to favorite your drivers. So that is something I would recommend if that's an option for you, which I believe is on the Empower app. When you get out of the car, close the door gently. There is no reason to slam the door. None. And just so you know, I don't know if you know this or not, but as drivers, we have to rate our passengers. We don't have an option not to, like you guys. Okay, you guys have the option to not rate us if you don't want to, or if you forget or whatever. We don't have that option. We have to. We cannot continue in the app until we rate our passengers. Always wear your seatbelt. It's the law, and it's just common sense because people drive like assholes down here. And speaking of safety, have the appropriate safety seats for your children, right? I mean, it's illegal to not have the appropriate booster seats or car seats or whatever for your kids. Sit in the back, the second row, opposite the driver. So second row, passenger side. Sit in that seat if you're a solo passenger. If there's more than one passenger, obviously it can't be helped. Obviously, if it comes to it, ask that it's okay for someone to sit in the front next to the driver, even though they don't really have a choice. If they signed up for an XL, that's just the way it goes. And make sure you order the right size vehicle for your group. Don't try and bribe the driver to take more passengers than you have seatbelts for. It's illegal and stupid. Now, moving on to the don't do this list. Do not slam the doors. I know I just said this, but it irritates the crap out of me, and it's written on all 4 of the signs that I have hanging from the back of the seat in front of them. Don't argue with the driver, because you never know what kind of crazy you might be dealing with. And I've had issues with passengers who launch false reports against their drivers, saying that I was under the influence or that I did something inappropriate, when I have cameras inside, outside, and around my vehicle, Nothing happens inside, outside, or around my vehicle without it being recorded. Nothing. So don't pull that shit with me. Do not jump in the car without verifying who the car is for. This is not just for safety and security purposes, but also to make sure you don't take the wrong car. I have actually seen this happen. Somebody jumped in the wrong Uber, and when I was trying to straighten it out, I was like, well, what do you mean this isn't the right address? The guy's name was John or Jason or whatever it was, but he actually ended up calling. I'm like, dude, this isn't a whatever. I don't know. It wasn't even the right car. And he ended up calling his driver, and he's like, you've got the wrong passenger. It was a whole thing. We ended up changing it. But, yeah, and, you know, something else that I kind of thought would go without saying, but I'm going to say it anyways. Don't do like one of my passengers did and steal your driver's car and total it. That happened. He stole it from the Lexington Wake Forest Hospital in North Carolina and drove it to Charlotte and totaled it. Yeah, and he's getting away with it. Don't get in the car if you feel sick, as in, you know, an overindulgence of alcohol or, you know, having a cold. At least wear a mask. At the very least, have the decency to wear a mask. Sanitize your hands. Don't get your driver and their passengers sick. That's just a dick move, man. That happened to me recently, and I lost like my rent's worth of pay from the number of days that I had to miss. It's bullshit. And of course, again, I can't believe I'm saying this out loud, but it's happened recently. Do not flirt with the driver, touch the driver, and or invade their personal space. Again, kind of feel like that should go without saying, but I recently had a guy who kept sticking his hand up with a phone in my face, and then he kept calling me sweetheart and baby, and he touched my arm, and I was just like, don't touch me. And he filed a report against me, and I had a nasty gram waiting for me from Uber saying, we're going to deactivate you because your passenger said that you made them uncomfortable. I'm like, motherfucker, I'm the one with the cameras, okay? So why don't you dial it back a little bit, and you need to calm down, because I don't appreciate you threatening to deactivate me every time I dime out a passenger for behaving inappropriately, and you threaten me with deactivation. So they're scumbags, but what are you going to do? So, you know, these are just general rules for everybody to get safely to where they need to be. And, you know, there's a lot of background checks and documents that have to be filed and so on and so forth. So, I mean, for all intents and purposes, the rideshare experience should be a pleasant one as long as the driver's not a douchebag, and the passengers aren't douchebags. You know, just everybody get along. It's just a little while, you know, whatever. So drop your comments below. Please like, share, comment. Share this with somebody who you think might benefit from it. And, you know, just a refresher. And know that there are female drivers out there. So, you know, have a happy and safe holiday season. Thank you.